Welcome back to the channel, Discovery Mentality. Today we're going to explore how a chariot race sparked a rebellion that burned down half of Constantinople in 532 AD. Before we start, just two little nuggets of context. 1. Constantinople is now known as Istanbul. 2. The Byzantine Empire was the eastern half of the Roman Empire that survived for 1,000 years after Rome fell. These are both topics to explore in detail in another video, but this helps to set the scene for the riots of 532 AD. The Nika Riots were a series of sports riots that took place in the Byzantine capital of Constantinople during the reign of Emperor Justinian I. They were named after the word Nika, which means victory or conquer in Greek, and was shouted by the fans of the chariot teams. Chariot racing was a popular sport and entertainment in the ancient world, and there were four main teams: the blues, the greens, the reds and the whites. Each team had its own supporters, who often clashed with each other over politics, religion and social issues. In January 532 AD, there was a chariot race at the Hippodrome, a huge stadium that could seat up to 100,000 people. During the race, some fans from both the blues and the greens were arrested for murder and sentenced to death by Justinian. However, two of them managed to escape and took refuge in a church near the palace. The next day, another race was held at the Hippodrome. The fans of both teams united and demanded that Justinian pardon the escaped convicts. They also expressed their dissatisfaction with his high taxes, his religious policies and his unpopular officials. Emperor Justinian refused to give in to their demands and sent his troops to disperse them. But instead of leaving peacefully, they started chanting Nika and attacked his soldiers. The rioters then left the Hippodrome and set fire to many buildings around the city. They also killed anyone who tried to stop them or supported Justinian. They even proclaimed a new emperor named Hypatius, who was a nephew of Justinian's predecessor Anastasius. For 5 days, Constantinople was engulfed in flames and chaos. Justinian considered fleeing from his palace but decided to stay after being persuaded by his wife Theodora. He then came up with a plan to end the riot. He sent his general Belisarius with a small force to guard one of the gates of the Hippodrome. He also bribed some of the leaders of the blues to switch sides and support him. Then he ordered his other general Narses to enter the Hippodrome with a large army and a bag of gold coins. Narses approached the blues and told them that Justinian was willing to pardon them if they abandoned the greens and Hypatius. He also threw some gold coins among them to create confusion and division. The blues were persuaded by Narses' offer and started shouting, "Long live Justinian!" They then left the Hippodrome, leaving behind the greens and Hypatius. Belisarius then entered the Hippodrome from another gate and attacked the remaining rioters with his soldiers. A massacre ensued, as thousands of people were slaughtered inside the stadium. Hypatius was captured and executed along with his supporters. The Nika riots were finally over. The aftermath of the riots was devastating for Constantinople. According to some sources, about 30,000 people died during the violence. Many buildings were burned or destroyed, including the Hagia Sophia, which was one of the most magnificent churches in Christendom. However, Justinian used this opportunity to rebuild his capital and his empire. He commissioned new architects to construct a new Hagia Sophia. This would become one of the most iconic and enduring monuments of Byzantine architecture. He also launched a series of military campaigns to reconquer the lost territories of the Roman Empire in Africa, Italy and Spain. He also reformed the laws and administration of his empire and patronized arts and sciences. The Nika riots were a turning point in Justinian's reign. They almost cost him his throne, but they also gave him a chance to rebuild his empire and leave a lasting legacy. They also showed how powerful and influential the chariot teams and their fans were in Byzantine society, and how they could challenge or support the emperor depending on their interests. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the Nika riots of 532. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel for more nuggets of history.